Hey y'all, this is Kasey Fox. I am the Queen of Southern Sass, and this is the Fans View Podcast.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Fans View Podcast. Today's guest, she brings the sass, she brings the Southern charm, and she brings a whole lot of fire to every ring she steps into. She's a former GCW Women's Champion, AIWF standout, and someone who's battled the best of the best independent scene has to offer. Please welcome to the show, Miss Kasey Fox. Kasey, how are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
I am so good. I'm happy you could make time in your chaotic schedule to make this work for us.
Thank you. Me as well. Thank you.
We're just gonna jump right into it. Obviously, you're from Taylorsville, North Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
Talk to me a little bit about what it was like growing up there, and how did wrestling first kind of come into your life?
So, it is a very small town. We have one high school, I believe 7 elementary schools, 2 middle schools. So, I went to one of the smallest elementary schools, and in 4th grade is when I started having interest in wrestling. So at the same time, my brother is 11 years older than me, and his best friend is Johnny Rada. He is a pretty well-known wrestler in the same area. He started wrestling. He started up with like Milestone and all these companies. A lot of them no longer run, but so at the same time, there was a show, MACW, that was going to be running at the high school. So I was interested in that. That was the first show that I ever went to. So I attended my first live wrestling show at what would be my high school, and where I would also have my first match 15-ish years later. Well, not quite 15. It would be 15 now. About 12 years later, I guess. So yeah, it's pretty cool. I also, so my mom's best friend, you've probably heard this before, she owned a pet store in Taylorsville, and a lot of times I was hanging out there after school with her children, and they were playing SmackDown vs. Raw in the attic, and I was like, oh my gosh, like, this is the coolest thing. And, you know, also my brother's best friend was starting to wrestle, and Michelle McCool, and I just started playing as her, and I was like, oh my gosh, like, I love this. So then I just started watching it from there, and then it was history. I started wearing t-shirts. My bedspread was WWE. I remember getting in trouble because I had a Divas shirt, which I still have, and I had worn it probably 10 times to school, and one day my principal was like, I don't know if that's appropriate. Oh, I had never been so mad in my life.
I love that. That's such a full circle thing, too.
Yeah.
With your high school playing, you know, such a significant role in your wrestling journey. That's crazy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm very proud of that.
That's awesome. You trained at Path of Wrestling eventually when you decide to dive headfirst into the business. Can you take me back to day one? What was that experience like walking into wrestling school for the first time?
I was so nervous. So I had been attending shows in Hidnot for a couple years at this point. I think they started running when I was around 14. So at this time, I think I'm 16, 17. I was scared to death, but I talked to my parents about it, and they were like, if you want to do it, do it. So I did. And actually, that was the only one that I went to by myself, and I'm really not sure why neither of my parents went with me, but after that, one of them went every time. Typically, my dad would go with me, and he just loved watching it. I mean, even still now, anytime I have a match, he loves to put his input in about what I should do.
I love that. I love that. Supportive parents are such an underrated part of everyone's journey, especially I've found in the wrestling business.
Yes.
What was the toughest adjustment for you, getting into the business? Was it the physicality, the mental side, or even the performance itself?
I would say probably the mental side because I'm very tender-hearted and I've gotten better as I've gotten older. I started when I was 17, but as a young girl in the business, and even in my life outside of wrestling, I take things very personal. And I think the deliverance of how people have said stuff to me has really hurt my feelings. I'm very tenderhearted. I wear my heart on my sleeve and everything. So that was really hard for me. And I've tried to do better, and especially growing up and other things that have influenced my life have made me tougher. But I still, like, if somebody hurts my feelings, I would never forget it.
I can appreciate that. I respect that. Um, you've obviously been working hard, whether it be the physical, the mental, the performance side, and all that hard work for you seemed to have paid off pretty quickly.
Mhm.
You debuted in 2018, and not long after that, you won your first championship title with GCW. What do you remember most about that night when you beat Kenzie Page for that title?
There was a lot of people who really didn't think that I deserved to have a title so quickly.
Right.
And in hindsight, I was young. I was like, what do you mean? I get that. Like, I get that now looking back 100%. But I think ultimately it was the best decision for the company to get people behind me. Which unfortunately that company no longer runs. But I was nervous. Like, I was like, y'all are putting a lot of responsibility on me. I am a child.
I love that. Do you think that winning that title so early in your career put pressure on you, or do you feel like it was more of a confidence boost for you? Because that could definitely go either way.
I think it was more of a confidence thing because I still had these people who are like, she don't deserve this, she don't deserve this. And which I understand that. Like, I do completely understand that. But I was like, somebody has enough faith in me that they're gonna put their title on me so
Right.
quickly. So that it definitely boosted my confidence.
Exactly. And you defended that title, obviously speaking of the GCW title, you
Mhm.
defended that thing in a lot of multi-woman matches I
Yeah.
saw, when I was digging into your career. Those things get pretty chaotic. How do you approach like a multi-woman match versus say a one-on-one?
It is a lot, and you always have to take into consideration, like, not only are you, some people get cocky and they are only worried about themselves and making themselves look good, but also, like, you're painting a picture for so many other individuals that you have to appreciate and really respect getting everyone in the match what they want and for everyone to look good.
Right.
So it is hard when there's multiple women. Just a couple weeks ago, I was in a tag team match at Squared Circle Champions, and there were four of us ladies, and I was like, hey, all I have is this one little bit. This is all I care. I don't care what happens, but I have been training and working on this. Whatever y'all want to do, I don't care. I just want to do this. So,
I respect it. You got to get your stuff in, right?
yeah, yeah.
So obviously, like we said, you debut in 2018, you win a title, you are off to the races. Things are going up and up and up. And then 2020 comes around and the world gets turned upside down. Like a lot of wrestlers, every wrestler, unless you're working for AEW or the WWE, all
Mhm.
the wrestlers across the country took a break during the pandemic. What was that time for you like personally? Obviously, you're only 2 years into the business. You're just now really getting your feet under you, and then
Mhm.
it's over just like that. How did that, how did you deal with that?
I definitely think that was a huge landmark of time because I felt like I was at the top at that point. Um, March, I had a match in Georgia against Shalance Royal, and that was my last show pre-COVID, and
Right.
we really didn't know what to expect after that. I had matches lined up, shows to attend, and I don't hate that COVID happened, but I hate that time frame because I feel like it halted my career to an extent, and I felt like it kind of set me back because also at the same time I was trying to finish my college degree, so then I
Right.
was able to focus more on that, which I am appreciative of, but I felt like I don't think wrestling will ever be what it was pre-COVID.
Right. Yeah. Well, that's a perfect segue into my next question. Did stepping away, being forced to step away, did that change how you saw wrestling or how you saw your goals?
I think it did because I think following that time, there are so many more individuals that have came along in the wrestling scene, and I'm grateful for that. You know, I used to wrestle men a lot, but I think that there are so many more women now, and since that time frame, I kind of, like, I love wrestling. I would love for it to be my career, but also it was kind of like a reality check that you need to get a job. Like, I was working, but you need to get a full-time job. You need to have a backup plan. This
Right.
isn't just it.
Yes,
And I think
absolutely.
COVID really set that into me.
Absolutely. For sure. And then when you came back in 2021, obviously, after the pandemic had kind of flattened out, you jumped
Mhm.
right back into action with AIWF. How did it feel stepping through that curtain again, after such a long layoff?
Oh, it was so much fun. And AIWF, I don't know if you've ever watched their shows, but they have a rowdy crowd and they love me. I love being there. I was talking to another female wrestler. We used to wrestle there pretty often, Clara. We had a good run there. We were talking about how we would love to work there again because we had such a good story going there, and I mean, just coming back in during that time was like, oh, and I unfortunately, but fortunately, have had several of those moments because I've had my gallbladder taken out, and that was another break. And then I was a surprise entrant into my home promotion this past March, and I hadn't wrestled there in over a year. So that was another one of those feelings when you walk through the curtain, and it's just like your whole body just stops for a minute, and it's just overwhelming.
I love that. I love that the passion really comes out when you start to talk about that comeback.
Yeah.
Um, Obviously, that comeback led to another huge moment. November 2021, you win the AIWF Mid Atlantic Women's Title. Here we go again. I mean, Kasey to the moon. How did that championship feel at that stage in your career, where you're still young in the business, but you're
Yeah.
not, green as grass anymore?
Yeah. I was so I loved having that title, and I was so appreciative for that they put it on me as well. And I know that they haven't had a lot of female talent there. So that was I really enjoyed working for that company, and I definitely want to work with them in the future again because it was just a great experience. And the way the crowd is there, like I was saying, they are rowdy, but I just can't explain how the feeling, you know?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Well, speaking of, riding that Casey Fox rocket up and up and up, not long after that, you debuted on TV. You
Mhm.
wrestled Thunder Rosa for All Elite Wrestling on an episode of AEW Dark. What was that experience like? You're in the big leagues at that point.
Yeah. I have anxiety super bad, so I was terrified. But also along with that, my parents did go with me, and I was grateful for that. My one of my trainers, Nick Nitro, was actually at the show where I wrestled on Dark, and when I was walking to the ring, him and his son were sitting ringside. So that just I needed that. I'm glad they were
Yeah.
there. Like God put them there because I was terrified. But I am so grateful for that experience. I would love to do something like that again, especially now that I am older. I've definitely learned a lot in my career and continue to learn each time I'm in a ring.
For sure. Did you have any takeaways that you've carried with you from that match? Like I said, you worked with a talent the caliber of Thunder Rosa, who's wrestled all over the world, multiple
Mhm.
TV companies. What was your biggest takeaway from that match itself?
Um, it was definitely a confidence booster because I was nervous and I definitely feel like I could have done better in hindsight. But after that, people would be like, why are you so down on yourself? Like, you literally were on AEW. Like, do you not realize
For
that
sure.
you have this, like, your potential and you don't even realize it? So I definitely needed that. Yeah, the whole experience, I'm so grateful for it. And I met so many people during that time. So that was also really cool.
I love it. Well, let's talk about a little bit of what makes you you in the ring. Obviously, people hear you talk, they immediately can peg you. You're from the South. You're a North Carolina girl through and through.
Mhm.
You brand yourself as the queen of Southern sass. Where did that attitude and character come from? I feel like that might be pretty true to life.
It is. It is very true to my real individual persona outside of wrestling. My trainer Thomas Extreme started calling me that. I'm not sure exactly when, but he has known me prior to me wrestling when I was just a fan and my mom and I were coming to shows. So he's kind of seen me grow and grow as a young woman, but also grow as a wrestler. So he called me that one day, and I was like, this is it. Like, this just fits me.
Fair. I love that. That seems to be pretty right on the nose. You have a natural charisma. What part of Kasey Fox is turned up from the real Kasey Gilbert, and what's totally separate?
I think that, so Kasey Gilbert, like I was saying, she is anxious, she is worried, she is tender-hearted. But I think that Kasey Fox is just like all the good parts of Kasey Gilbert, but with fire behind her. Like, I keep my heart on my sleeve, and I am so tender-hearted, but also I try to bring that confidence in. And a lot of my drive is children and like just being able to be someone that children can look up to and see something in. A little girl made me this bracelet a couple weeks ago, and it says Kasey, and she gave it to me. I was literally about to cry. Like, I know that's so small, but both Kasey Fox and Kasey Gilbert, I was like, you don't know how much this means to me. I will wear it every day. And another one of my bracelets my niece made me, and I wear it every single day. And she asked me later, she said, you still have that bracelet that I made you? I said, yeah, baby, I'm not taking it off. Like, that's a huge drive for me. It's just like, I want to be personable to these kids
Yeah.
because I remember when I was young and how I looked up to individuals, and some of them, like, they don't care, they're just there for a paycheck, whatever. I don't ever want to be seen as that. Like, I want these people to know, these kids, especially like local, if they see me in Walmart, if they see me at my job, they can come up to me and hug me. Like, I hope that I can give them something like as they give to me. So
I love that. That's a fantastic answer. And I was gonna ask you next about how important fan interaction is to you, but I mean you hit that nail right on the head. And
yeah.
I love that because like you said, a lot of workers, a lot of people are there, collect a paycheck, work their match, and they want to get out of there. But
Yeah.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Um, every wrestler has that one hurdle, that they're always battling. What would you say has been your biggest challenge in the wrestling industry?
I think a lot of it is putting myself out there, out of fear of failing, because I think pre-COVID, like, I did do a really good job of trying to push myself and like work different places, and now with so many other female talent, I definitely am like, oh, they probably have somebody else. I think it's just like a lot of a confidence thing and just like me doubting myself that I wouldn't be good enough, and I continually have that fear. So
Right.
I definitely need to work on that. Like, I think I doubt myself a lot, so
Okay. Well, hey, you always have to have a goal to look forward to, so that's going to
yeah.
be yours. And kind of piggybacking off of that, as we look ahead, obviously we're in the very twilight of 2025, staring down the barrel of 2026. What's one goal that you're laser focused on, maybe ending this year and going into 2026?
I definitely want to start working at some more promotions. This year I stayed pretty loyal to two, and it both of those kind of just happened. Like I said, I came back to my home promotion, and then there's another promotion in Wilkes County that I work with a lot. So I want to try to work with some more promotions like I used to. Not necessarily the same ones, but putting myself out there and trying to get more bookings. That's definitely what I'm going to try to do next year.
I love that. We need more Kasey Fox in 2026. As we round this thing out, I have two questions that they're my favorite questions to ask my guests. Number one being, this is the Fans View podcast, so I have to ask you, outside of the ring, what are you a fan of?
Like as far as wrestling or other things?
No, just outside of wrestling, outside of the bubble.
What am I a fan of? Well, if you don't know this, I love coffee. I love, love, love coffee. And also going along with coffee as I'm thinking about it, the Wicked movie is coming out this week.
Okay.
So everything I have seen Wicked, I'm like, I have to have it. I have to have it. And my partner's like, you can't buy everything Wicked. I know that's so random and so small, like little joys, but I love coffee. I love making my coffee at home every morning. And Wicked right now, I know it's a time thing. Like, it's just because it's popular right now. It probably won't matter to me in 2 months, but I've been on that bandwagon. In the mornings, I'm singing that in the car, so.
I get it. I love it. That's why I ask, because I mean, people want to see the real you, and I mean that is a window into the real you. I love it.
Yes. I'm literally shouting "Defying Gravity" driving to work every morning. So.
I love it. Full disclosure, I'm the dad of a 3-year-old little girl, so I go to work singing the Moana soundtrack.
Oh,
so,
yes, I'm sure.
Oh,
I love
God.
that.
I can't get it out of my head.
Yes, when my niece was younger, she was stuck on the Trolls soundtrack forever, and she would love when I would sing it to her, so I sang that forever and listened to it in my car forever.
I told my wife the other night, we were sitting there, I said, you know what, that Moana soundtrack just has banger after banger,
yes,
so I can't even be mad. Last but not least, and again, these are my favorite questions to ask, and this one might be my very favorite. Obviously, you're a young woman, be it in the wrestling business or just in life. How do you define success at this stage of your life and career?
I think that has changed throughout my life. Like, I definitely used to think that I had to be on TV or I had to have a contract for wrestling to really be successful for me. But now, even if I were to call it quits today, like, there's still a legacy for Kasey Fox, and I know that. And I'm very proud of that, and especially as I continue to build that for myself in my hometown. It doesn't matter if I don't go beyond this. I'm proud of myself because people will talk about me for years to come and how I was one of the first female wrestlers in the area. And I'm proud of that. And I think that's been hard for me to be like okay with where I am and where I've gotten to. So I'm proud, but I definitely would like to go beyond where I'm at, but I am grateful for how far I have come. So.
I love that. I love a good, honest answer. Kasey, we love you here at the Fans View podcast, and I'm sure everybody that sees and listens to this is going to love you as well. Where can people get a hold of you? Where can promoters get a hold of you? What are all your social medias? Plug away.
So I am on Facebook. I have a Kasey Fox page. I also have my personal page. If you message me on there, if it doesn't go to my message request, I will most likely get back to you on there. If it does go to my message request and I don't see it, contact me on my wrestling page. I also have Instagram. It is Kasey Fox Wrestling. And I'm also on TikTok, Kasey Fox Wrestling. I have X. It is Kasey Fox 99, but I don't really use X that much. So
No, none of us do.
yeah.
I love it. Well, thank you so much, Kasey. This has been so much fun. Like I said, you're beautiful, you're talented. I only see your stock rising in 2026. So hopefully we can get you out there to more promoters who are seeing this, more fans that are seeing this. And don't hold us to it, folks, but we're going to try to make something work at WrestleCade next year. Fingers crossed.
Yes.
Kasey, again, thank you so much for your time. You're a busy lady, but you made time for the Fans View, and we certainly appreciate it.
Thank you.
Guys, make sure you do all the things to like, subscribe, comment, tell Kasey how great she was in this interview. Go follow her on socials, but most importantly, don't forget to call your mom.
If you haven't liked or subscribed, you're going to be joking me.